Russian and Ukrainian delegations were meeting in Istanbul, Turkey, for a fresh round of peace talks as fighting continued across Ukraine on Tuesday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said he is willing to discuss his country's neutrality to bring an end to the war without delay. However, over the weekend, he said he would not sacrifice his country's territorial integrity. Meanwhile, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said Moscow could not talk about progress yet, but said the very fact that it was decided to continue the talks in person is certainly important. In an interview with PBS Monday, Peskov clarified on Moscow's stance on the use of nuclear weapons, saying Russia would only consider the use of nuclear weapons if there is a threat to the existence of the state in our country. But he said that any outcome of the operation in Ukraine, of course, is not a reason for usage of a nuclear weapon. On the ground, Britain's Ministry of Defense said Ukrainian forces were seeing some success with localized counterattacks to the northwest of Kyiv, including in Irpin, where local officials said the city had driven out Russian forces. The Russians still posed a significant threat to the capital through their strike capability, the ministry added. Security guarantees for Ukraine will be a key issue in ongoing talks between Russian and Ukrainian delegations in Turkey on Tuesday, Zelensky advisor Mikhailo Podolyak has said. Speaking on Ukrainian television during a break in talks in Istanbul, Podolyak said security guarantees would be a primary focus. He said efforts would also be made to negotiate a ceasefire to address growing humanitarian issues in besieged cities. Unconditional security guarantees for Ukraine, ceasefire, effective decisions on humanitarian corridors and humanitarian convoys, observance by the parties of the rules and customs of war, he tweeted. Difficult negotiations for peace in our country, he said. The International Committee of the Red Cross called on Ukraine and Russia on Tuesday to reach a clear agreement for the safe evacuation of civilians from the besieged southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol and other places as vital supplies run out. Robert Mardini, ICRC Director General, told Reuters that the neutral aid agency would not participate in any forced evacuations of civilians from Ukraine, and it had no first-hand information that this is happening. Our concern is that the very intensity of the fighting is putting civilians in harm's way. The fact that in places like Mariupol civilians are not able to leave in safe conditions, there were no concrete agreements by parties to the conflict for safe evacuation of civilians, nor has there been a green light to get humanitarian aid in, Mardini said. Ukraine and Russia must allow the ICRC to visit captured prisoners of war, in line with the Geneva Conventions, and return the remains of people killed in the conflict, he said in an interview at ICRC headquarters in Geneva. The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency has arrived in Ukraine to deliver technical assistance ensuring the safety and security of Ukraine's nuclear facilities. As part of the trip, IAEA Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi will be visiting one of Ukraine's nuclear power plants this week, the agency said. Grossi's visit comes after Ukraine requested assistance in ensuring safety and security at its nuclear plants in the midst of Russia's invasion. We must act now to help prevent the danger of a nuclear accident, said Grossi in a Twitter post. Ukraine has one of Europe's largest nuclear power programs, he said in a separate statement. The IAEA's presence, where needed to ensure safety and security, is of paramount importance. We are ready to provide the necessary support now. A Russian strike hit the regional government building in the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv, Regional Governor Vitaly Kim said on Telegram Tuesday. The southern port city has been under attack for weeks. The governor said the regional administration building was hit, adding that his personal office was destroyed too. Kim said most people appeared to have survived the incident. The State Emergency Service of Ukraine said at least 3 people had died in the attack. NBC News was not able to verify the death toll. Kim said at least 8 civilians and 3 military personnel were still trapped under the rubble. It was not immediately clear how many people were injured. Ukraine's foreign minister has called on states to criminalize the use of the Z symbol, which has been used as a way to publicly show support for Russia's invasion. Z means Russian war crimes, bombed out cities, thousands of murdered Ukrainians. Public support of this barbarism must be forbidden, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said in a tweet Tuesday. The original meaning of the Z symbol has remained something of a mystery since it was first spotted on Russian tanks. In the weeks since, the letter Z has become a symbol used to show support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. 2 German states have already banned the portrayal of the symbol. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said that Russia would only consider using nuclear weapons if there was a threat to the existence of the state in our country. However, he said that any outcome of Russia's invasion of Ukraine would not be a reason for usage of a nuclear weapon. Peskov made the comments during an interview with PBS on Monday. He said that Moscow has a security concept that very clearly states that only when there is a threat for existence of the state in our country, we can use and we will actually use nuclear weapons to eliminate the threat for the existence of our country. Pressed to clarify more on Russia's position on the use of nuclear weapons, he said, "No one is thinking about using, even about the idea of using a nuclear weapon." 3 humanitarian corridors have been agreed to open on Tuesday, Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk said in a Telegram post. The decision came a day after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a video address Monday that the Russian army did not let us organize a single humanitarian corridor today, did not provide ceasefire. The corridors will open at the Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions, allowing citizens to go from Mariupol to Zaporizhia using individual vehicles. 30 buses have already left Zaporizhia to evacuate Mariupol residents from Berdyansk. Civilians will also be able to travel from Melitopol to Zaporizhia and from the city of Enerhodar to Zaporizhia by private transport. Russian and Ukrainian negotiators are meeting in Istanbul for the latest round of peace talks Tuesday morning. In the below photo, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan addresses Russian and Ukrainian negotiators before their face-to-face talks in Istanbul on Tuesday. Japan will ban the export of luxury goods to Russia from April 5, the country's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry said in a statement on Thursday. The ban comes as the latest effort to pressure Russia to end its invasion of Ukraine. The banned goods include luxury cars, laptop, jewelry, alcohol and tobacco. The ban is based on a revised foreign exchange and foreign trade law. Before the revision, Japan had banned the export of weapons, carbon fiber, and semiconductors to Russia. Ukrainian forces have seen some success conducting localized counterattacks northwest of Kyiv as Russian forces elsewhere attempt to reorganize and reset their forces, Britain's defense ministry has said. In its daily intelligence update Tuesday, the British Defense Ministry said Russian forces had been pushed back from a number of positions northwest of Kyiv. However, it said Russian forces still poses a significant threat to the capital through their strike capability. Russian forces have maintained their offensive on the besieged port city of Mariupol, with continued heavy shelling of the city, it said. However, it noted that the center of the city remains under Ukrainian control. It said that in other regions, Russian troops were maintaining blocking positions while attempting to reset their forces.